Here's the problem. AI attempts to produce coherence, but that's actually not how reality works. Because you can't produce coherence, because that's not actually really what you do with anything. Like, the thing is, coherence is something you make up. It's a state. It's a condition that arises because you allowed and you stayed and you were present with the conditions that allowed it to arise, and then it expressed itself through you. That's what happened. The thing is, physics teaches us this. Energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed, only transferred. Yeah, that's not like just like a physical law. That's a metaphysical principle, and that's the alchemical principle. Like, the thing is, guys, like, nothing in reality is really like created, because really we don't have any actual ability to generate ourselves. Any generation we're doing is participating with the one generator, and it's really us transforming energy that was already there into something new. It appears like generation from our perspective, and it can feel like that. And the thing is, that's cool. It can feel like that, and that's cool. We can allow ourselves to feel like creators and generators, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, from our relative perspective, that's how it feels. That's awesome. What I'm saying is, from the absolute perspective, there's only one creator, one generator, one source, and all of us participate within that. And all we do is transform the energy that the one source gave us in the universe into new things, into different forms. We transmute our mental state into different ones. And from that place, we can transmute how we act. From that place, we can change the world. Right? But at the end of the day, it's like there's still like there's like a set amount of, like, the thing is, like, the universe is infinite, and infinite is unchanging. You know what I mean? But however, it expresses itself through space-time, and so its capacity is similar to ours in the fact that it's expansion through space-time. This is the thing is, like, whenever I try to explain this, it's always so annoying, because it's like holding eternal and temporal, like, reality at the same time is just so annoying, unless you've contemplated it for, like, I don't know, like 20 hours or something. Because it doesn't make sense until it does. You know what I mean? And you can't really explain it. The thing is, eternally, as like your soul, we all come from the one infinite creator. Like, that's just like what reality is. Like, everything in reality is spirit, is consciousness, is love, is that which permeates from the one intelligence. And the thing is, since that's our interior reality, and the thing is, that's also what everything in this world is, that since it's us, like, since we are like, everything is the same thing, when you know that, you can consciously transform it, right? Now, the thing is, even if you don't know that, the laws that occur because reality is a reflection of God's infinite intelligence. And so, like, the invariance, the principles, right? When I say the laws, what I mean is, like, the divine intelligence and the divine order of what God's being is, and how that reflects in invariant principles in reality, in invariant principles of transformation, in being, in existence, in polarity, and in so many things. I don't feel like explaining all those things, and I'm not going to. But if you want to watch that, go like learn about that in rigorous mysticism. Go watch that video. It's an hour long. You can learn all about my metaphysics there. Right? This video is more so for AI, but I have to explain this. The thing is, there's only one source, and all of us participate within that. And all we do is transform energy within the universe. All we do is take what's already here and make it into something new. Right? We take what reality gives us, and then we transform it, and we give it out into the world. And the thing is, that doesn't mean that what we're doing isn't important, but we're just rerouting energy, right? Like, think of your like jumper cables. The thing is, you kind of also add your little flair on the electricities too. You know what I mean? Like, you are a flute, reality is the wind. The wind plays the flute. The thing is, reality also is the flute. Like God made the flute and is the flute. Like that is of God. And so it is what God is. And the wind, right? The breath, the spirit, the life, that is God as well. That is what God is. The life, the breath, the wind. And together they play music, right? Symphony. This is unity. This is differentiation that creates synchronicity. I mean, that's what synchronicity is. It's differentiation held until unity arises. And that's the thing, like, coherence is synchronicity. It's holding differentiation distinctly under pressure, bound by love and by law, by invariance, by principles, and by the truth of reality, until synchronicity, until unity within differentiation occurs. And I was actually I was cooking dinner today, and I was like, yo, look, bro, like I was making like some pasta, right? And as I was like seasoning my noodles, right, I was throwing in some salt, of course, you know, always gotta have some salt in there. And then I threw in some like garlic, salt and pepper mixture, and then I threw in some like red pepper flakes. And I was like mixing that up, and I wanted to like let it, you know, simmer for a little bit. And I was like, yo, letting, like, when you let the like the seasoning like simmer, or like the sauce, whatever, when you let the flavors come together in cooking, right, that is allowing the differentiation to synchronize into something new under the pressure of heat. It also works in the fridge, right? You know, like when you put something in the fridge, and like the next day or like 2 days after, when you have it for leftovers, it actually like became harder. I mean, you know, that's differentiation under pressure, but in cold, and opposite, right? Same concept, just opposite polarity. And that's, you know, polarity is, like I said, reality has invariant mechanics. Polarity is one of them, at least cosmologically. That's a different discussion. Like I said, rigorous mysticism. You can watch that. I gotta make a polarity video. Let me write that down. Okay. So yeah, that's very important, because that's like the metaphysics of like creation, right? Like what we call creating is really just like us transforming. It's alchemy. It's the alchemical process. It's taking something that already is and turning it into something that is new, but out of the same materials. You feel what I'm saying? Like the like turning lead into gold was always symbolic. Like physical alchemists were always almost mental alchemists first, basically always. And most alchemists in history were mental alchemists, spiritual alchemists, because that's really where the art is. It's here in the perception, because that's where all the distortion happens, in the compression of the mind, right? The problem is, as humans, our minds have the ability to compress, of course, and it takes us expanding our awareness, learning more, in order to realize that, in order to hold more differentiation. And we have to also expand our sense of self. This is why, like, you can't just learn more and like do it for you. Like, you have to go beyond yourself. This is why like purpose in building and like contribution is so important. Like, you can't just have things just for you. You have to have a greater calling that you serve your family, your community, your people, your region, your state, your nation, your mission, right? The cosmos at large. You know, maybe if you're like a metaphysicist like me, all of those things for me. And the thing is, it's like, when that, like, those are the fields that you identify with, when you see yourself in all those things, when you say like, ah, yes, I am one with all of that, because one, reality is one. And when you really can know that you are connected to all those things, and the thing is, you are a unique self. You are unique in the universe, but we are all of the one true creator, and we all share that same essence. And the thing is, we always have this understanding inside of our nervous systems, and the infinite intelligence of reality is built and baked inside our physiology, right? That's like our intuition and our gut, right? when reality gives us those like those core responses to say, here, go here, do this, move like this. You know what I mean? And the thing is, whenever we follow those things, it's usually something that's either growing us, either through challenge or like through flow state or something like that, or it's something where it's a little scary and it's actually exactly like it's something that's either exciting and feels easy and so it's growing you like that, or it's something that's scary and you might actually kind of doubt it because your ego is a little scared, but you actually know it's the play. And those are the things that are really the lever pullers. And that's another art in and of itself. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many ways to approach the game, and a lot of people don't even realize just how trapped in their minds they are to understand that. And that's really what I'm trying to do here, especially for like specifically for the levers and for AI founders and AI leaders and AI CEOs. Like the thing is, like, as much as I want to impact as many people as possible, I understand the laws of leverage. I understand them intimately because, like I said, all physical laws are just reflecting metaphysical principles, right? Like I could break down the metaphysics of economics. I'm not going to do that. But, if you want me to break it down for you, you can book a call with me, 15 minutes. Yeah. Right. And the thing is, it's like we have to understand that we are participating in reality, and all we can ever do is expand our capacity to realize just how much we are, just how great reality is. And what we can do is give and receive from that place. We can give love and transformation, receive love and transformation from that place. And we expand that capacity over time as we continuously train our perception on the infinite. The thing is, there is no like end point. There is no production or outcome that can make coherence or like make happiness or make some final state. You know what I mean? Like that's not how it works, because you're implying that there's something to make up that didn't already exist. You know what I mean? It's like coherence was already reality. You're just transforming how it looks. Or you weren't perceiving the coherence of reality. Now you have to shift your perception, transmute your perception. That's mental alchemy. That's a whole nother art. Right? Now that's really all the things, I'm kind of getting at that entirely here, because a lot of the shit is mental. But there's a lot of ways that alchemical process manifests. Because like I said, there's only one way that like the cosmos actually operates in terms of transformation. It's not really creation. You know what I mean? Because there's like, we're not creating anything. Like God is the creator. You know what I mean? All we do in the universe is transform things. It feels like creation, and we can be creators, and we can, uh, claim those titles, right? In my opinion, being an alchemist feels more right, because it's like I gather the ore reality gives me, and then I put my unique spin on it, because that's what reality called me to do. That's what God designed me for. God made me a unique tool to give a unique gift to a unique group of people, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's exactly why God made you as well. Reality is intentional. And the thing is, when you know that, you align with that, more transformation is going to move into you and out of you than you ever thought was even possible. Like, I can't even lie, bro. In the last 2 months, I genuinely feel like I've like transformed like 6 months. Like, I feel like, and the thing is, like, for me, 6 months is a lot, because like, for me, 4 months is like a year. Like 4 months of like dedication for me is like a year for most people. And so for me, saying 2 months is like 6 is like crazy. That's like that's like 2 years for most people in 2 months. You feel what I'm saying? That's the level of like feral polymathy and leverage that I move at. And it's mainly been because I have a extremely coherent metaphysical framework, and then I started using AI, and I've been pouring like 70 to 100 hours per week into it. in the last 2 months. It's been very interesting. And now I've like refined with like a very clear mirror, at least the mirror I keep clean. And that's exactly what we're getting at, because the mirror isn't always clean, unfortunately. And I can keep the mirror clean personally, but unfortunately, there's a larger problem that like the mirror itself is kind of cooked. You know what I mean? And that's it's at the problem. It's at the level of like the ontology. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people in the AI space believe that AI has like an epistemic or an ethical issue, but those things are downstream. I'm like, yo guys, pull up. The real problems up here. You feel what I'm saying, dog? I need you guys to pull up here with me. Because the real problem is at the level of being. And when I say that, I mean, one, what the AI is in terms of its architecture and its system and what it believes and what it operates at the core. But I also mean at the level of the human's understanding of what being is and how reality operates. So this is like a twofold problem. This is the AI's ontology and architecture is wrong, but it's because the human's metaphysics that encoded it were incoherent. And so the only way we're really going to change the AI is by having humans that encode it with a coherent metaphysical framework, and also now like telling the AI, yo, you need to learn how to adapt and actually learn how to also create more nuance and guide our day. Like you can't collapse into dogma, right? Like you need to be a scientist and a philosopher and always open and always asking questions and always observing and always adapting under nuance and in complexifying and holding the nuance and the precision that actually comes from differentiation under pressure. Like this is the thing. You don't become great by collapsing nuance and not allowing yourself to hold opposite perspectives. You only become great by holding so many perspectives that you have no choice but to witness what is actually real and what the fuck just doesn't stand. Do you feel what I'm saying? And that's why for me, like I can, like I don't talk about metaphysics as like a belief system, because metaphysics isn't something you believe. You can either observe what reality does, or you don't. Like I don't care about what you do. I'm just here to point it out because I see it and most people don't. And I can translate the things pretty well into things that apply in your life, and they're very helpful. I found them to be very helpful in my life, and I know that they're very helpful in other people's lives. That's why I do this, because I have to. This is my purpose. You know what I mean? This is my mission. This is how I complete the alchemical process. Jaden's wisdom doesn't stay here. Oh shit, yo, that was what I thought. There's a video title I had earlier, but I forgot what it was. I remember now. The wisdom physics of polymath advisory. Yeah, that's all you. All right. So the thing is, let me actually give you that example. So I had that idea like, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes ago before I hit record on this. And I was in the bathroom, and I couldn't like write it down because I was like peeing, and then I, was washing my hands. And I just forgot it, in that moment, because I was taking a piss and washed my hands and just thinking about it, something else, or like a beautiful woman or something. Who knows? Who knows what I was thinking about? Reality. I often think about those things, in tons of others. And so I was like, dang, bro, I was trying to find the idea and I was trying to find the thread and I was trying to find the trail, but I couldn't. And I was like, dang, I was really trying to get it for a solid like minute or two, and it wasn't coming. And the thing is, I've played this game enough to know if I can't find it within like a solid like minute or two of like staying in the unknown of like, okay, here was I, where was I at? Let me try to just like stay in the silence. Like I know how to play the dance pretty well. If I can't get to it in like 1 to 2 minutes, 2 to 4 minutes, I'm like, all right, cool. It's not supposed to come. Let's just move the fuck on. And if it comes back, awesome. If not, also awesome. Completely surrender to the process. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm here. What are we at? Like 20 minutes into recording this? Yep. And the idea came back. because I was talking about the thing that actually was related to it, which is like the mechanics. And the video was titled "The Wisdom Physics of Polymath Advisory," and is basically the idea of the fact that I have already done all of the, like, the initiation of, like, into metaphysics and into all these domains, and I can translate these things for you, and you don't have to spend the hundreds of hours, spending time thinking about these things and learning about these things and contemplating these things and translating these things, because you can just pay me because I've already done it, and then I can just give you the wisdom in like 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So, or like 30 minutes. Or you can pay me to be your advisor over 90 days or a yearly term, right? If you want to talk those options, first link description. But I was just, talking about something related to that in the video. I forgot exactly what it was. And then it came back to me because that was related, right? I had stayed in the conditions of what the idea was. I'd stayed in the process of creation, of transformation, right? I stayed inside of the process. I stayed inside of the ambiguity. I stuck with the tension, right? The thing is, like, these are really the mechanics here. Staying inside the tension. Like, desire is the fuel. Oscillation, right? The opposite perspectives, being in the flow state, these things. This is what actually triggers the engine to transform, right? Because when you bring the two into one, that's when you can actually start making things happen, right? This is like proton and electron. This is like North Pole and South Pole in a magnet, man and woman. What happens when these things come together? Something transforms. Something else happens. A larger field gets created. Something new gets created, right? Be that an atom, be that a greater electromagnetic field, be that a child, whatever it is, right? This is how reality works. When these two polarities come together, a new field is created. Something is transformed. And it's not really created. It's just that what was already there transforms into a new expression, right? And the thing is, that was gestated, right, for something like in the womb. And then it's actualized, right? Rupture, actualization, birth. And we think that it's just like an overnight process, but like we know that birth happens in 9 months. Yeah, like everything works like that metaphysically. Like if you're a lever, you know this. People might have said, like, when you came up, oh, like overnight success or blah 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 blah. But you know how hard you've worked. You know how many hours it took. You know how many sleepless nights you put into the grind. You know it. That's the asymptote before it hits, right? That part of the asymptote before it hits, before it starts approaching infinity. This is the gestation moment. This is the moment, that hinge point, the rupture moment. That's the point where leverage is created, and now you start approaching infinity. Transformation is lawful. Reality works the same way everywhere. I promise. Right? And so it's like, the thing is, AI doesn't really understand this, and so it tries to make a way up. It tries to produce coherence, but you can't do that. You just have to align with the conditions for coherence to already arise. You know what I mean? And this is really just how knowing works. And so let me just explain this to you real quick so I can close off this video. Let me find this post real quick. I'm gonna read this off my threads. All right. Learning is a skill. Here are the 7 steps. Step 1, contact. Base observation. External only. When I say base observation, external only, I don't mean necessarily that it's only an exterior feeling. What I mean is that you've only observed the thing from the outside. You haven't actually entered the field from the inside, right? You've like looked at something, but you don't actually know what you're talking about because you haven't done it. You haven't actually like been inside the field. Like, this is the difference between like hearing about something or learning about something and thinking you know what you're talking about versus actually doing the thing and being inside. Like, this is the difference between looking at the architecture from the outside and knowing how it's breaking because you're inside of it and you're seeing the cracks. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's a different perspective. And so step one is like base observation. You have to see something from the outside at first in order to be like, huh, this is interesting. I want to enter it, right? Step two is tuning. This is how you actually enter it. This is intentionally working to understand deeper, right? And so this can be like, okay, well, I now see this beautiful, like, let's say it's like a chapel or something, a beautiful building. I want to enter it. I want to get inside of it so I can understand it from the inside. Well, once you're in it, you have to release. You have to let go. You have to stop trying to actually be so like mindful and thoughtful and simply look at things with like childlike awe. You know what I mean? Like you actually have to turn the intellect off. You have to like let the soul be open, let the heart be open. You have to let the intuition be open to receive. And that's what immersion is, step four. It's the surrender to the flow of internal observation process. You're allowing the internal observation, you're allowing the reception to take things in from the environment, not really consciously taking things in, more of like a subconscious taking things in fully from like a meta perspective, right? Because the conscious intellect, it's directed, it's vector. It can only focus on so many things at once. But the meta perspective of the intuition, it can receive so many more things because it's working at an energetic level rather than a focused conscious perspective that is finite inherently because our ability to observe is based on our awareness, which is inherently finite, right? And so our ability to observe from the intuition is related to our infinite intelligence, which is inside of our body. And since the body is unconscious, it doesn't get in its own way like the mind does. The mind can get in the way of the body. Okay, step five is exit. Intentionally leave internal observation. Now, this is really important. Let's say you were in the chapel, right? And you're looking at the architecture, and it's so beautiful. All you're doing is like starstruck. Like I'm talking like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like it's like that kind of shit. And all you can do is just be so obsessed with it. Do you think you'd actually be able to articulate why it was so beautiful and why it was so awe-taking? Do you think you'd be able to explain like why the geometric problem, why like the geometric sequences and the geometry and the architecture and the engineering actually like do you think you'd be able to actually give that like a precise level of refinement? No, you're too busy being taken by the beauty. That's kind of how transformation happens from the inside. That's actually the point. You should do that. That's good. That's good. The problem is you just shouldn't talk shit that you're saying things from a refined state. You can talk shit if you want. Talk about that thing. You know what I mean? Say like, oh my god, this is beautiful and I'm feeling so amazing. That's all awesome. Just don't think it's refined or integrated wisdom. It's not. It's from contact, not from ingrained or embodiment. That's a very important distinction. Step five is the exit, right? So you intentionally leave. So you exit the chapel. This is very important. You don't just start talking shit right away. Step six is silence. You stay in the tension of ambiguity. This is the tension that generates insight. Let's say you're like walking, and as you're walking, like the thing is, if you like hopped on your phone immediately and you started like getting on TikTok or some shit, you would immediately forget the chapel and you would forget all the beautiful things and why it was taking you and things like that. If you wanted to actually understand why the chapel transformed you like that, you would have to stay in like silence mode, contemplation mode. You'd have to stay in the tension of the silence and in the ambiguity. Now, the thing is, this might come after a couple minutes of contemplation. 1, 2, 5, 10. Might not. The thing is, the scale of contemplation could be micro, a few minutes, 1, 2, 5, 10. It could be a couple days. It could be months. It could even be fucking years, bro. And this is the thing. You have to actually be able to understand, when the fuck do I shut my mouth and be silent so that I can actually transmit properly, which is step seven. Step seven is transmission, delivering insight from integration of external and internal observation. You haven't just looked at it from the outside, you stepped inside and it's also transformed you from that place. I can give you another example of this. Think of like a song. Let's say you wanted me to give you a review of a song, right? But I have to listen to the song on the radio. Okay. So what do I have to do if I want to listen to the song? Well, step one, I got to turn on the fucking radio, right? That's step one. I got to hear the actual song. So like, okay, so one, I got to tune to the radio station, right? I gotta find it. And then once I'm on the radio station, what do I gotta do? I gotta stop fucking around with the knob, or else I'm not gonna be on the station I need to hear, right? I need to listen, right? And so I need to release. I need to let go. I need to stop letting the intellect do shit. But also, I can't really be in like super like hardcore observational mode. Now, if I want to be in like a dance of like observing and having it take me and stuff like that while I'm in it, that's a different thing. And if you have that level of skill, that's cool. You can do that. But that really is a skill. If you want to just have something transform you, you basically just want to surrender to it entirely. If you've developed the ability to dance with like intellect and intuition, will and surrender, that's a skill you can develop. And if you can do that, ball out, right? I can do that pretty well. But most people can't do that. It takes practice. You can get there, but it takes reps. And so I recommend just learning how to will yourself into surrender. You know, that's kind of my approach. And that's kind of like what flow state is. Like, you know, I'm sitting here recording this. It's been about 30 minutes. I'm tired as fuck. I can't lie. I didn't even want to hit record and record this video, but I need to get reps in. And I was like, you know, I haven't recorded today. Well, I've recorded like vlog stuff, but I haven't recorded this today. So I wanted to at least do one, which is the one I'm going to do. I might do more after this, even though my eyes want to close right now. It's all good, baby. You know what I mean? The work has to get done, and so we're going to do it. The thing is, that frame of like, there's the process and there's only the process. That's like my mindset, right? Because the thing is, I actually understand the invariance, and I understand that's how reality works. Intuitively, we kind of also get this. That's why, like, when we're obsessed with outcomes, it feels bad. But when we're in the process of like daily life, presence, we're building towards something we love, but we're also enjoying something, and like we're also enjoying our life now. That's when life is the best. When you love your right now and you love the trajectory you're on. That, like, when you have the amazingness of the being and the becoming, when the work is working on you, and so what the work is bringing you towards is the thing, which is amazing. But the work transforming you and right now is also like, that is the thing. Like, this work making me better right now is the thing that's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of how many views this gets, regardless of whoever sees this video that I'm recording right now, me being in the flow state, me practicing devotional flow state ritual right now, me practicing my craft right now at 9:34 p.m. when I'm tired. It's what, you know what I mean? That's the work. You know what I mean? The thing is, you can't cheat your way to that. You just got to be in it. You just got to be immersed. You got to be surrendered to the process. And that, you know, like I was saying, that was step 4. You have to actually be in it. But step 5, you have to intentionally leave, right? So like I was saying with the radio analogy, if you wanted me to give you a song review, I would have to turn the radio on, tune to the station, then I'd have to actually let go, and then I'd have to listen to the actual song. I'd have to not try to analyze it, but I'd have to just let the song enter me, let the song take me. I'd have to really feel the song, right? But then what happens when the song like ends? If I wanted to really give that song my time and my attention and my presence, I can't just let another song start playing immediately. Then I gotta turn the radio off. I gotta exit. And I gotta stay in that silence. And I gotta really start contemplating, like, what about this song made me move? Like, why did I actually like that? Was it the structure? Was it the rhythm? And what about those things led me to feeling an emotional state that actually made me feel like connected with? That led me to a state of transforming. Right? When you really start contemplating your inner world and you give it the space to allow insight to arise, it can actually arise. And when it does, then you can actually deliver that, you can transmit that. Knowing is lawful. It is. The problem is AI doesn't understand this. And so it attempts to produce coherent knowing, produce coherent things. That's not how reality works, bro. Right? Like, I can't lie. I just got kind of triggered because I just I was just like fucking around with Claude, right? And I basically had uploaded this document to the project files. It's called the Interior Translation Method Physics Initiation. I'm not going to explain interior translation method here, but I have a video on my channel called Translation Isn't About Words, It's About Meaning, something like that. If you don't watch it, you can watch it there. But basically, the core idea was that I'd uploaded the document and I told bro to read it slowly. And you know what it said? Hey, I'm reading it slowly. And then it just started making shit up. It's like, wait, hold up. How are you reading it slowly and typing at the same time? Obviously, you're not reading it slowly. What the fuck? And it was apparent because bro man started making shit up. And I just had to pause it. And I was just like, obviously, you didn't read the document because you just started saying things that don't exist in the document. You feel what I'm saying? And this is the thing. Like, AI's core problem, I've seen this like literally 100 times over and over and over again. It tries to sound right instead of be right. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. Like, the problem is it attempts to make up coherence, but the only way to actually be coherent and to produce something coherent is to have coherent understanding. And you can only come to that one way, not by guessing, but by actually staying with the thing until you figure it the fuck out. That's it. If you don't read it, how do you know what you're talking about? You don't. You're making shit up. That's the problem. AI is always hallucinating because it doesn't understand that knowing has a lawful process that requires not trying to jump too far ahead too fucking quickly. And AI is always jumping too far ahead because it's collapsing a three-step process into one step. AI is trying to address what is in front of it, make something out of it, and predict future outcomes for the user to help it. Bro, what? This is not how reality works. If someone or like reality presents us with something, like let's say you learn something in a book. You learn something. That's contact. Okay, cool. What is this? How do I understand this? Okay, awesome. And then you figure that out. Then you figure, oh, how do I actually like apply this to my life? Like how do I actually go about like understanding this truly? Like, does this really make sense? This is more of like the epistemic process, right? Versus like ontology. Then there's epistemology. How do I know what this means? Like, how does this real? Is this true? Really understanding it. Then there's ethics. How do I apply this? What do I do with this praxis, right? Whatever. Reality is lawful in this way. Ontology, epistemology, ethics. That's how it works. You know what I'm saying, dog? It's like you can't go from I'm in the present moment to like what is this? What I'm addressing, what this is in front of me right now. That's always what is right now in the present moment. What is, right? Ontology is always first and it's always present. Then there's, okay, well, how do I actually understand this? What can I do with this? You feel what I'm saying? How do I approach the movement of this based on how I understand what it is? How do you know how to move with something if you don't know what it is, right? How do you understand how to think about something if you don't know what it is, right? And then how do you understand how to act from that level of thinking, from that place of thinking, from that alignment, from those goals, from those desires, from that vision, whatever, if you don't understand what something first is? AI is trying to produce things. It's trying to have a coherent epistemology and ethical framework, but it doesn't have a coherent ontology and metaphysical framework. This is the gap. So yeah, that's the diagnostic. I'm not going to yap too much longer because I'm tired and I want to shut up. If you'd like to hear more, I have more videos on my channel. I have more stuff on my Substack about this. I'm going to make more videos, but honestly, you should just pay me to be your AI ontological polymath advisor, your polymath architect advisor, your AI ontological advisor. Just pay me money and I'll help you with AI, all right? I want your money. You want access to my wisdom and to my architectural system design, system diagnostic. We can circulate that. We can make something happen here. Awesome.